Promises made, they rot in the air. A handshake, a lie, a blank, cold stare. Puppets dance, the strings are tight. Shadows whisper in the dead of night. This is some bullshit. We see through it. This is some bullshit. Can't undo it. Say it loud. We won't quit. This is some bullshit. Paper thin truths that crumble like ash. Golden thrones built on stolen cash. We raise our fists, we break the mold. Your house of cards is getting old. Static hums, the wires ignite. Truth's a bomb, we're ready to fight. This is some bullshit. We see through it. This is some bullshit. Can't undo it. Say it loud. We won't quit. This is some bullshit.
What's happening, chat room? Hi, welcome to the show. It's Hal Sparks, Megaworldwide, late show on Friday. Sorry, I'm getting a little behind in starting today. There was a technical issue where the camera just wouldn't turn on. So a couple of restarts later, and here I am. How you doing? My guess is one of those updates in the middle of the night. We're live on Instagram. Substack is doing just fine. Insofar as I know, there you go. There's Substack. Okay, I can take a look at that and pop that up over here. And, get on our way as a live stream is wont to do. The hard part is shutting off the sound on Substack when I open that page because it always does it. And what's going on? How you doing? What's good? How things are fine. Things are all right. Just doing my thing and stuff. I don't know why also that one of my regular headphones, this little guy, just it bleeps when you put them on. You know how when you put your headphones in, they make that like, hey, we're connected noise. But no audio comes out of it. Doesn't do that with any other headphones. Don't know why. So if I'm looking this way, you're like, wow, he's just hearing it today. He doesn't need headphones. It's amazing. Nah, the right one just stopped working. Whatever the hell. It's Thursday, not Friday. Yeah, I know it's Thursday. That's what I'm saying. Thursday is the later show. Manuel and Juliana chat. Everybody's there. Okay, good. Whew. I gotta say, like, there are, hold on.
First Lady of the United States.
Shut up. There's a very strong chance Trump might have croaked this morning, and I'm being facetious, but they cleared his schedule again. He's got a dinner tonight, allegedly, with these tech heads of state, which sounds like a donor dinner more than anything else. And well, you know how you know what stands out to me as to why I think that might be the case is a couple of things. One is they sent out the first lady to do the AI lunch today. Now, she had done that little launching the AI project and that kind of stuff, and maybe it's a sideline thing to give her to do, but goddamn, both of them have no idea what any of this shit is about. And so it's not like by putting her in charge of it, the nation is denied his intellect on this rather complicated topic of AI. By the way, tomorrow, Friday AI, I'm just saying. And we will catch up on some of this stuff. But they put her out. He's supposed to have dinner with all these people that are a part of this meeting. Trump's having dinner with them tonight. That's the only thing on his official schedule today. And then they had Kash Patel come out and announce. Boy, is that a Freudian slip. Indictments in an international drug conspiracy. The things that they always do, but now the Trump administration wants you to think that they're the first to do it. And Pam Bondi is in Florida doing a press briefing on human trafficking. They are just doing this big fucking full court press to distract from the fact that he's not anywhere doing anything. For real. Now, he's getting an IV gravy treatment. That's right. He's getting his gravy levels checked. So I gotta say, well, let me just show you all right, let's talk about how important of an issue AI is, and you guys know how I feel about this. Same way I felt when the Ukraine war broke out. I started dedicating 2 hours of my show, worth of my shows during the week to talking about Ukraine because it's that important. I started doing Friday AI over a year ago, with or without Rob Glenn, most of the time with, but sometimes without, every Friday, because it's that important. And people will get caught up in kind of the AI slop aspect of things, or you can make ads now, and the stuff you see online is about 5% of how it's going to affect everybody's life. And you need to know this, right? And you need to know about it from a fucking, a person who gives a shit, as opposed to somebody who's selling you a subscription to one of these things, and or somebody who's afraid of it, or somebody who thinks it's going to solve every problem everywhere. So, are there captions for that? Well, easy. There are actually, but I don't know if they work. So let's just dive in. The importance. Importance of AI. Then these folks think so highly of education, they want to dismantle the Department of Education. Now, every state has their own education department. And then the federal Department of Education is largely a funding mechanism to make up for lack of funding, and is sort of a ubiquitous standard across all 50 states, largely to help states like Louisiana and Alabama and Arkansas when they need to catch up, and they never do. Blue states, if you didn't put in the red state test scores with blue states, and blue states were, we just used America's best top 20 states for our standard, we'd be like 4th or 5th in the world education-wise, but red states drag us down to 47th. So, I'm into AI as well, Trucker John. And again, it's not even a question of whether you're into it or not. It is a useful tool. It's like saying I'm into the internet. I'm in on the internet. So very important topic though. Education, very important. The raising of children in the modern world, very important topic. Very, rife with complications and technicalities and shifting modes of education and social interaction that kids have to struggle with. There's a lot, and it's very important to talk about. And then, of course, AI on top of that. All three of them very complicated, very important, and we've got a hot truck of dumbass running the whole thing. And I don't mean just her. they fucking truck out Brooke Rollins in here to talk about like how IBM's going to help 4-H and future farmers of America, learn about manure. I'm not kidding. She'll call it soil pH levels, but we all know she means fertilizer, even if she doesn't know she means fertilizer. Speaking of fertilizer, listen to this. By the way, hit the like, share the show.
The First Lady of the United States.
And possibly the last. Now, I understand, chat room, by the way, you're going to have a lot of questions for the First Lady about AI, and it's seldom that we get to see a true expert speak on this, but, please just try to organize your thoughts. Blah, 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 blah.
To address this important day. So, thank you for joining me to address this important issue. Secretaries Wright, McMahon, Rollins, and Chavez de Remir. It's wonderful to be here today alongside private sectors, leaders like Mr. Pichai, Mr. Karishma, Mr. Wilson, and the many more visionaries.
Hey, Mr. Wilson. Sorry.
From across industry.
From across the entire spectrum of industry, from tech companies to tech companies. Okay.
We are living in a moment of wonder, and it is our responsibility.
Yes, I wonder why we're living.
To prepare children in America.
If Dr. Jill Biden had said we're going to prepare children in America, Glenn Beck would have done a show called It's a Cookbook.
Cars now steer themselves.
Not really. Some do, most of the time. Some of the time, they don't. Most cars don't.
Our cities. Robots hold steady hands in the operating room.
Robots hold steady hands in the operating room. No, they don't.
And drones are...
They will, but simmer.
Defining the future of war.
And drones are defining the future of war, which brings me to children's education.
Innovation.
Wait a minute. By the way, AI isn't largely responsible for the drones, too. Those are largely, FPV drones flown by a human being using a goggle setup. Look, there's AI involved in all of this, but, she does, what the fuck?
Of first-generation humanoids. Factory.
Humanoids. All right.
Illumination and autonomous vehicles.
Autonomous. Are we going to have autonomous humanoids? That's my question. By the way, if Linda McMahon actually takes a drink of that water, does Melania stop talking?
Search from
it's like a fucking magic trick.
Sector investment. Every one of these advancements, it's powered by AI.
No. Every one of those advancements is not powered by AI. Literally, the self-driving cars are the closest thing to it. The steady hand of the surgeon. There's no AI surgery happening at all. And the AI drone stuff is just the guidance system. And thank God we're not letting them choose their targets yet. Dipshit.
Robots are here.
The robots are here. Congratulations to Stephen Miller, world's first robosexual.
Future is no longer science fiction.
The future is no longer science fiction. Everyone at Black Mirror, you're fired. I'm sorry. Since we've got all this shit now and it's kind of here, there are no more ideas for science fiction. Science fiction has become science fact, therefore there is no more science fiction.
Data from the Bureau of Economic Analysis shows that AI innovation is clearly boosting America's GDP growth.
Clearly boosting. You mean the 7 top tech stocks are keeping the rest of it afloat until you have to pay back the tariffs?
Surely this is not a trend.
It is a trend, and stop calling me Shirley.
For AI will serve as the underpinning of every business sector in our nation, including education, life sciences, finance, and design.
Life sciences and design. You left out paramilitary internal spying devices from Palantir.
In fact, I predict AI will represent the single largest growth category in our nation during this administration.
You predict that, do you? Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's what all we've been waiting for. Melania Trump's predictions about the impact of artificial intelligence. I mean, I think that's what most people voted for. Thank God she called this meeting together so that she can, she can help us live up to her prediction. Also, yeah, that's because it's happening already. It's way ahead of everybody's control ability. And what do you think? Trump's going to invent something else during his time in office? Good Lord.
And I won't be surprised if AI becomes known as the greatest engine of progress in the history of the United States of America.
America. As opposed to the world? What do you mean? Like, the greatest engine of growth. I mean, you still stack, if it's the engine of the growth would be driven. I think whatever powers it, right? Never mind.
But as leaders and parents, we must manage AI's growth responsibly. During this primitive stage, it is our duty to treat AI as we would our own children.
Oh, okay. Feed them Ritalin and ignore them, and leave them to the women to change their diapers. Is that the Trump AI plan too?
Empowering, but with watchful guidance.
We must empower them, but with watchful guidance. All right.
In this room is filled with the brightest minds of our time.
I don't know. I mean, they're the people running the companies. I think at this point, if you asked all of them, this would be one of the only times in history where the industry is like, yeah, I don't even know how this shit works. It's way ahead of me.
As such, I challenge you to focus on 3 strategic priorities of AI's ecosystem.
Okay.
So America can lead in shaping a new, magnificent world.
Yes. We will shape the magnificent world.
Infrastructure and energy, national security, and of course, talent.
Of course. I mean, that's right. I was going infrastructure and energy, which are both different and the same. National security, because if you're ahead, you're ahead. And talent. So, if you could get AI to go, I think we're good. If you, where you don't go, where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Different types of wear a day, coat pants with so cutaway, perfect sits. I'm not. Okay. We would learn more about AI watching Young Frankenstein than this.
We must ensure America's talent, our workforce, is prepared to sustain AI's progress.
Oh, shit. It's up to us now.
And the Presidential AI Challenge is our first major step to galvanize America's parents.
To galvanize America's parents. That's right, parents. It's up to you to make sure your kids figure out the next wave of AI that will be online before they graduate their next year in school. So get the adults to all of a sudden understand something they don't understand, create a curriculum around teaching the next thing. And by the time they're finished with developing that curriculum, the entire thing will have already adapted and moved past whatever standard you were using to work with it in the first place, and then it'll be over. All right, great. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Educators and students with this mission. English is a new coding language for many. And with it, creativity will flow from every corner of America.
What? Just the corners? Okay.
Sparking new
every coroner in America. Put on the Reds. Sorry.
Industries, careers, and jobs. By supporting the presidential AI challenge, you are investing in our youth, America's next era builders. Next
era builders. First of all, no. Look, I think we all agree with Dionne Warwick. I believe the children are our future, but they will be adults by the time it happens. But the truth is that AI advancements will actually largely be driven. The shocking shift will be like, oh my God, it's not this new thing that only the kids can do. It'll actually be, wait for it, old people. That's right. People with judgment and experience in a lot of different industries are now using AI to leapfrog past the competition that used to kick their ass because they were up on the new lingo and the new technology or whatever. Well, the kids can't even keep up with it any more than anybody else can, but the adults have judgment. They've been around enough. They've been working in a business or an industry for a long time. They know the data points, so they can work with AI in a more intelligent way. It's like, imagine if the trend was to get everybody an assistant, like a Data from Star Trek, and whatever you told them to do, they would do. Would you give that robot to a 20-something, or would you give it to someone that's an expert in their field in their 50s and 60s? Would you give it to a new graduate nurse, or a nurse who had been overseeing hospital floors for decades? Do you understand what I mean? So it's not about the kids. As a matter of fact, one of the biggest AI challenges they ought to start fucking doing is point it at people that are either midlife or moving out of business or act as consultants, because like older people who've retired, who are now in the consultancy phase of their life in a lot of industries, paired with AI could be every bit as effective as an employee as somebody straight out of fucking college at the new level of stuff that you're doing, but have way better understanding of the topic or your field of work than anybody new would, no matter how much they've been studying it in school. Kids. But the kids.
I would be remiss if I didn't thank our very determined director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy, Mr.
I would be so remiss if I didn't thank you, like it says in the thing on the papers.
Michael Cartesius. Michael's vision will have a profound effect on how emerging technology shapes our future.
Yes, it will. This person is going to have a profound effect on how this technology shapes our future. No, he won't. It's going to do its thing, and everybody there, this is like a bunch of people who are like, we are being the greatest horseback riders in the world. If only we had the reins, we could, and perhaps even the saddles, this war Nelly, we could probably get hold of this thing. Shit.
Thank you, Michael.
No, thank you, Madam First Lady, for your
No, thank you.
And for hosting this second meeting of the White House Task Force on AI Education. And thank you to all of my colleagues on the task force here, including Secretary McMahon, Secretary Rollins, Secretary Chavez DeRemer.
Yeah, the fucking Secretary of Agriculture is there.
Secretary Wright and White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs. We are thrilled also to welcome a new member of a task force today, Assistant to the President for the Office of the First Lady, Haley Harrison. Thank you for joining us. It is an
great, finally, a person with all the answers. Just so you know, the First Lady assigned her main assistant to the task force on AI. This is, okay, remember how much shit they gave Hillary about insurance for children, and that this was a big thing, and you normally give, like, first ladies are supposed to do the fucking Christmas decorations and fuck the Christmas and all that shit. And here comes Hillary, and they're giving her, the ability to try to shepherd, children, like low-income children's insurance through the Congress. And they're like, why would you let her do something like this? It's so out of, even though she's a fucking lawyer, and she's been a governor's wife and then the president's wife, and she's been around for years, and she's seen all of it as it's happened. She's an experienced, intelligent woman of her own right, and it makes sense that this is a cause she believed in, even if she wasn't in the White House as the wife of the president. This is something that she might have, as a well-known lawyer from Arkansas who went to school in New York, might have taken on herself to try and do right, but because she was the president's wife, they attacked her. They put a big bullseye on her because they're like, how dare she? Who the fuck is she? And then what did they attack Jill Biden for? What's this Dr. Jill Biden bullshit? Dr. Jill Biden, doctor. Meanwhile, Melania is running the AI task force. The AI task force. Now, granted, I know some of you are saying, but Hal, her intelligence is artificial. Touché.
Honored to have the support and advice of the First Lady as we seek to implement the President's...
The support and the advice as they implement Trump's vision for AI. Good God.
Plans to give America's children the chance to learn how to navigate our ever-changing technological world.
Well, if it's ever-changing, then you can't navigate it. You can't make a map of a tsunami, dummy. Well, there were no maps in Waterworld. You understand? Everywhere you look, it's water, and the surface is always changing. If it's an ever-changing landscape, you can't map it. Fuckhead.
As AI reshapes how people learn, work, and communicate, President Trump is committed to ensuring that Americans are equipped to lead the world in harnessing this technology for increased productivity and prosperity. To further that end, in April, the President...
By the way, most of these people are reading stuff off of AI company websites, like their splash page.
Signed an executive order focusing on the formation and promotion of AI educational and workforce development programs, especially for America's young people.
Why especially for? Seriously, this is fucking stupid. Honest to God, you're better off letting kids learn a traditional classical education, because figuring out AI will take them a full half hour. If you're going to train a generation of people how to use AI, do it to adults. Make it an on-the-job training vocation expenditure. Like like continuing education courses for people. Stupid. Kids aren't going to have a hard time adapting to it and figuring it out. And by the time you work up a curriculum to teach them, it will already have shifted, and your version of teaching it to them will be out of date. Teach the adults right now how to use what's here right now in their job. Fuck me.
Familiarity with how these exciting new tools work will, we hope, lay a very important foundation for a lifetime of innovation.
How would you know? You're not even familiar with them. For real. Like all I can think is that the only thing AI that they're aware of or involved with is whatever drafted up this fucking document for him to read from. I'm serious. Like their idea of a mic drop at the end of this is going to be like, and by the way, everyone's remarks today were made with this AIzing.
That is why President Trump established this White House task force on AI education, and that.
Yes, and we all weep for the future.
Why this task force has helped put together the Presidential AI Challenge, which the First Lady launched just last week. And for that, thank you so much, Mrs. Trump.
For doing the video. I'm doing the video. Wait till the recording comes out. Fuck the AI.
We are here today to talk about our future in the most real sense imaginable.
Oh, dear. They're trying to... Chat room, you know they're trying to kill me, right? You know, this is death by nerd. They're trying to make, like... They're trying to peak my nerd meter to the point where I go on I start wandering the countryside, strangling people like Frankenstein's monster. Put it on the bridge! Honest to God, I'm not gonna be able to handle it. I'm not gonna be able to sit here and listen to this stupid, am I? I'm not gonna. Fuck me. I got a deal.
America's children.
Hold on.
Be prepared to build our country tomorrow.
Oh, God, it hurts. Our children will be prepared to build our country tomorrow. Dude, you have no... What kids are you talking about? Fifth graders are going to be in a world you can't even fucking recognize. Seniors are going to be scrambling just like everybody else because they've got they're selling uncooked cookie dough door to door. It's not there yet. But it's going to be there for the ones right behind them, and they're entering an actual job market for the next fucking 5 years.
Cutting edge tools of today.
The cutting edge tools of today suck. The established tools of today are getting okay. They're pretty close. The cutting edge tools are ass.
We are proud and grateful to announce...
Yes, White Castle, Paul's like, White Castle system, Hal. Yeah, White Castle is using AI. Dude, you won't even be able to get a job flipping burgers. If you're in middle school, if your kid's in middle school right now, by the time they get out of high school, the burger flipping jobs will be gone. They'll be able to work the register because people want to see a person. But the rest of the fucking building is going to be a vending machine.
Steps in fulfilling the mission of this task force and the President's vision for this AI challenge, as we welcome leaders from...
By the way, vision is what you have instead of a plan. Hashtag Sparksisms.
Business, nonprofit, and education who are putting America's future first by pledging their resources to support AI training for American students, educators, workers, and families. So all of you here who are participating in the pledge, thank you for your generous pledges.
Oh my God. This is so that the tech companies can come to the White House and Trump can say he's got them investing money that they're going to spend anyways. But they can fund the growth, their energy and the growth of their particular AI, their large language models with government money.
The many contributors here today are committed to providing not only vital hardware, infrastructure, and education technology for students.
Yeah, they're going to build giant cloud servers just for students today. There's going to be teacherai.gov.
But professional development
Yes, Linda McMahon's the one who called it A1. Yes. Which, by the way, as stupid as that is equal to everything else you're hearing from these assholes.
Communities for workers, for teachers, and for parents. Resources being made available include interactive lessons, educational toolkits, classroom guides, certifications, courses, workshops, webinars, and so much more.
So much more. Guys, there's going to be webinars and so much more. And also class curriculums and so much more. We're going to send education back to the States, except this, where we're going to centrally locate it in a giant cloud server in fucking Montana that's run by a nuclear, like a decommissioned nuclear weapon in one of the silos. And we're going to take the fallout from that basically to drive this giant AI that will be your kid's teacher. And there'll be curriculums, everyone. Your child's going to have, we're going to make curriculums.
We are also honored to be joined by representatives of parent groups who we trust will continue to provide invaluable advice.
Why? Why would we trust this?
We are humbled by the responsibility you share with us in educating America's children, and very proud to seek your input and participation in every part of this effort. And as a new father of an 8-week-old, this means more to me than probably anything else we're talking about today.
That's very sweet. Good for him. Congratulations. All kidding aside, that's very sweet.
Loves this nation's children and students like you do as their parents, who are each child's first teachers. Americans of all ages,
for better or worse,
look forward to celebrating 250 years of U.S. independence next year, and remembering our even longer national story of pilgrims, patriots, pioneers, conquering new frontiers, and building a future for their
pilgrims, patriots, and pioneers. Grabbing them by the...
posterity. Today, we are grateful for this opportunity to invest in our children's future in turn, and to give this generation and generations of Americans to come the tools they need to master the frontiers of AI.
Oh my God. Oh. It's a lot. It's...
This is some bullshit. We see through it. This is some bullshit. Can't undo it.
I gotta say, like, this is how in the ever-loving shit. Again, I think this is largely just a distraction, by the way. To, like, get these people to the White House. Trump probably is going to go around and glad hand with them during his one waking hour today. They got Melania in charge of this. But, like, this is fucking painful. And by the way, I love the translation. A children's future. I believe the children's are a future. Turn them in and give this generation. I mean, I understand a certain amount of boilerplate and political, roundtables and shit like that, and that there is no discussion to be had. This is just a display. And they go around, like he talks like this. Here, let me show you something. Let's cut to, they go through Linda McMahon, who famously called it A1, right?
To share the dais today with our First Lady and my former cabinet members and colleagues here today. I think AI is certainly one of those technologies that we must embrace, certainly because it
one of those technologies we must embrace, unfortunately, like I guess vaccines and the whole earth is round shit.
Here, it is such a valuable tool, and we are certainly going to do our best to utilize it at the Department of Education. I think we're looking at our work in 3 AI areas. We are supporting current grantees. We are prioritizing future investments, and we're integrating AI in our own workforce at the department. So I am certainly, and maybe a little to the table later than some as an adapter, but clearly I...
Oh, fuck me. She's going to do the whole, like, I'm old. I bet the kids can teach us all about it. No, they can't, you dumb motherfucker. When have you ever seen a round table where, like, we got to teach kids how to use the cell phones because they're going to be the the turning point. Smartphones are a wave of the future. We're going to have to figure out how to get these things in schools. You didn't have to, dumbass. Because it was happening whether you liked it or not. This requires work, and you're already outmatched. But I'm going to have to get my grandson to show me how to use some of this A1 business.
I certainly am now an adapter in utilizing some forms of AI, which I'm finding so incredibly helpful. And I
like what?
That Barron is helping you with a little bit of this as well, and maybe charging you a little bit with that. I would think so.
Sorry, wait a minute. Your joke is that the kids, you gotta, it's like mowing the lawn these days. You gotta pay the kids to help you out because you can't do it yourself, and that's just part of life. But I bet Barron is charging you. He's out of college, isn't he? Like, he's not a child, and that ain't his fucking job. And if that's the case, why is her assistant on the task force and not Barron? Please don't put Barron on the task force.
In supporting our current grantees, we've issued a Dear Colleague letter telling anyone who has received an ED grant that AI tools and technologies are allowable use of federal education funds.
Wow, they're doing the hard work, everybody. They sent out a letter. I take back everything I said about them being behind on this whole artificial intelligence thing. They're now I like the phrase cutting edge.
Our goal is to empower states and schools to begin exploring AI integration in a way that works best for their communities. And I'm next.
Yes, especially the Amish. The Pennsylvania Dutch are going to have a real hard time with it. But, we'll modify their grants. Maybe they'll have, an AI that checks the pH of horse manure.
Week actually going to go to the Alpha School in Austin, Texas, to see AI in action.
Wait a minute. Please don't tell me. Hold on. You're going to tell me there is a school in Texas called the Alpha School, and it's not run by the Tate brothers? What the fuck? Okay, hold on. The Alpha School AI Austin. Okay. Of course. Of course she is. Where's the program? Well, here, I'll show you what the... This is their path to privatization. I mean, I wish they were, I could say they were, playing catch up in a field and they're entering uncharted territory. They're not. AI is just the new charter school for this dipshit. Here's a Forbes article on it from this year. Alpha School, using AI to unleash students and transform teaching. God damn, have some ads, Forbes. Shit. How Alpha School works. How about all right. Alpha School replaces traditional classroom instruction with AI tutors and adaptive learning platforms. Students spend their mornings engaging in a highly personalized curriculum in the core subjects math, reading, science, and social science. The AI-driven system assesses their knowledge in real time, identifying gaps and ensuring they achieve mastery before progressing. This mastery-based approach allows students to advance far beyond grade level if they're ready to fill in the foundation gaps before proceeding. Teachers now called guides. Oh, God. My guide says... TeacherBot says my guide can let me play outside because I have mastered the topic before the allotted time and I'll no longer get electric shocks. Teachers, now called guides, do not lecture or grade assignments in these courses. Instead, they act as motivators and mentors, helping students remain engaged and on track. Pick up your iPad. Pick up your iPad, you asshole. Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up. Talk to your AI. I don't like its voice. It's scary. Talk to it. In the afternoon, students take part in workshops and collaborative projects centered on public speaking, leadership, entrepreneurship, and other practical skills. Not that, like, building or making shit. Let's see. Skill building workshops, debates, coding projects, and creative endeavors. Activities often squeezed out of traditional school schedule. Older students can use this time to explore internships, research opportunities, and other substantive outside endeavors impossible to do within the confines of a traditional school. These activities ensure that learning is good. This hybrid structure of independent learning in the morning and substantive in-person engagement in the afternoon is a key differentiator of the alpha school model. While many online or independent groups allow students to learn at their own pace, they often lack the social and motivational. This is a sales pitch for it. Contributor. Yeah, so that's a paid. Somebody paid to put that article in Forbes. Kind of like Trump's bullshit about him being, one of the richest men in the world back in the day when he would lie and get on Forbes top 100 right. That's how you get an article in Forbes.
So I'll be anxious to report back and see how that works. We are prioritizing future investments
By the way, does anybody think Linda McMahon walking around Alpha School in Austin is going to make her return back with, oh my God, it's just everybody's on screens and the kids are wearing headphones and everything's so quiet and because it's like for rich assholes who are basically one step away from homeschooling are sending their kids there so they don't have any problem children at all. They don't have any special ed. They don't have any of the actual realities of dealing with the public because again, it is a subset of a subset of a subset that are already primed to do this kind of thing. Like it's so clean and everybody's, it's just amazing and the kids don't talk kind of at all.
Now made AI one of my priorities as secretary. This explicitly encourages the integration of AI in teaching, learning, and school operations.
It explicitly encourages it. I guess with nude pictures? Okay.
Applications that come into the department that utilize AI will be more strongly considered, for their grants. Might even get some bonus points for that.
Not might. She's saying if your project involves teaching kids using AI, which again is a way of making it cheaper and getting rid of guides, ultimately, and just basically making us making the country entirely homeschooled. That's what this is about. This is the same shit they're doing with basically privatizing the military.
We want to integrate AI at Ed. We're exploring ways to utilize AI in our processes across the department, not to replace human judgment and work, but to make us more efficient and effective. And I think that should be a goal everywhere.
Sorry, if it's not replacing human judgment, then how does it make you more effective? Right.
Ed is fully aligned with the Presidential AI Challenge and is encouraging students and educators to explore AI technologies with curiosity and with creativity.
Yeah. Curiosity and creativity. And a privatization push.
It's not one of those things to be afraid of.
Who are you talking to?
Let's embrace it. Let's develop AI.
Let's embrace it. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, sex bots. Let's move on to that portion. And no offense to the First Lady.
Based solutions to real-world problems and cultivate an AI-informed, future-ready workforce. Ed strongly supports.
All right. Anyways, jackassery. Let me jump ahead to Brooke Rollins' nonsense in this one. Let me show you something real quick, and then we'll move on to how all the other way. Yeah. So, why the fuck the Secretary of Agriculture is there other than to talk about the 4-H and future farmers as if they control it? These are state organizations that they collaborate with. But they got to fill this fucking thing out. And they're trying to get it into rural states because technological adoption, they believe, is slower in rural states. No, it's fucking not. My next door neighbor and my best friend growing up, Kurt, was a computer programmer because he had a computer in his house in fucking 1977. No, there's, and now without needing, ever since we didn't need giant fucking tape run data centers, it can be everywhere. I got news for you. Hillbillies are hooked the fuck up. People will adapt at their own pace no matter what. But what they want is grant money to red states. This is pork for red states.
Well, first of all, I will turn my microphone on. First of all, I just want to say thank you all. I'm Brooke Rollins, and what a joy to be up here with my fellow cabinet members. Michael Kratsios, you are just a visionary, and I think...
What? How? What? How is he a visionary? What's the fucking vision? We're going to send letters out and curriculums. That's the vision.
To the first term when we were able to work together. It's just incredible to see you lead and drive and cast a vision supported by so many incredible people here, and I know you're...
Jesus Christ. What is it? What's the vision? We got to be best. We must be best at everything. Also national securities. And the children must learn the new technologies of the future. Really? Yeah? Yeah? You didn't think they went like all through the schools asking kids if they wanted to work on oil rigs back in the 20s?
Team, but it's just a joy to see this incredible...
This is the vision. Well, I'm an oil man, and this is my boy.
Perhaps one of the most important issues, if not the most, that we have to address and embrace and build as a culture, as a society, as America, is just so great. And to our incredible First Lady, it goes without saying that you're strong.
Yeah, you just shouldn't, but yeah, it should have gone without saying, but it sounds like it won't.
And steady leadership, and whatever you put your hand and your mind to is beyond what any of us could have hoped or imagined in terms of your leadership, your ability to move mountains for what you believe is important.
Jesus Christ. You're spending all of your orange Schittler spiel on her. Sorry. Her steady and out of this world leadership more than you could have ever expected on an AI task force where you're all sitting around with fucking glasses of water and jibber jabbering about a vision you cannot explain. Jeez, beyond what any of us could have imagined. Okay, so here's a good idea. Maybe you guys need AI to replace your imaginations.
I saw it with your Be Best campaign.
Sorry.
First term, and now to see you put your intellect and your heart and your work behind this is just incredibly encouraging. And as your friend, I'm just so grateful. So thank you for your leadership.
God damn, it's a jerk off. Like, okay.
To all of our private sector partners in the room, I know we're going to get to hear from some of you. Many of you, again, we've worked together for some time, but this is the new Trump administration. Is
that my audio going out, or is it this thing? Hold on. Is the audio choppy for you guys, or is it just my headphone being dickish? Hold on. Going to swap out because I don't trust it. And I think, let's see, put this guy on the charger, see if that's the issue, maybe do a reset on it eventually. Meanwhile, do my little drapey pieces because hopefully they'll have enough. Wish me luck. Nope. Check. That's is that on their side? Hold on. No, she must have just turned her fucking mic off. I always think it's me.
Vexing challenges facing America. So for those of you that have made this a priority in the private sector, we're just so grateful for your leadership.
What? Hey, dumbass, They're not making it a priority. It is a priority. It's a priority whether they like it or not. Any of these tech companies, including Google, the Google CEO is sitting over there, any of them are like, if they may have wanted to launch a new OS. They had a whole fucking slate of shit for the next 6 years before the LLMs broke about a year and a half ago, and that has all been thrown out the window because AI is prioritizing itself, dumbass.
And
thanks for showing up at the trough to get money and get access to the education system and the Defense Department. Like, you have to. That's what they're there for. They kiss up to Melania. She talks to Trump about how they're working great with her team, and if they want to sell shit to the DOD later or create something for Social Security that shaves a mill off of every fucking penny that passes through there, they could make $1 trillion over a decade.
Is to lean in and realizing that sometimes in our country things can get fairly divisive, but your willingness to lean in and to be part of the universal approach to solving these massive problems is just so appreciated. So thank you.
Like gibberish.
I want to say that President Trump has been very clear. The United States will lead the world in artificial.
Yeah, fuck you, okay? People who think they might get ahead of us, you won't.
Intelligence, period, full stop.
Yeah, so don't even try, okay? With your big coal plants and you stealing the tech. And whatever you do not try to kidnap Linda McMahon and ask her a bunch of questions about how AI will be integrated into our education system just to get ahead. It won't work.
Not China, not any of our other foreign adversaries, but America. And with the First Lady's leadership and the Presidential AI Challenge, we are making sure that our young people are ready to win that race. And I think that's why we're all here today.
You're not sure, you think? Also, the race will be won or lost before any of them, the kids that you're kind of talking about, get out of 8th grade.
From my perspective as the Secretary of Agriculture and hyper-focused on rural America and returning the golden age of prosperity to every corner of this great country.
There's the corners again. What about vertical farming? If you're hyper-focused on rural, are you going to miss the entire hydroponic wave of growing vegetables in cities, in modified office buildings and shit like that, I guess?
I would like to say that far too often for those living and working in our rural parts of our country, that often those are left behind and do not always have the same access to the most recent technological innovations that our urban counterparts across the country do.
Gee, I wonder why that would be. I can't imagine why advances in electron microscopes and hadron and the Large Hadron Collider and atomic energy doesn't trickle down to tractor tech. I can't imagine.
We cannot let that happen with AI. The agricultural sector.
Try to stop it, stupid.
Who feeds and fuels and clothes the country, who provides the national security in terms of feeding ourselves and fueling ourselves, has the potential for a seismic shift driven by the integration of cutting-edge technologies like AI.
By the way, I would like to remind everyone, hi chat room, we don't have to listen to any more of this, you get the point. This is about replacing agricultural workers, specifically immigrant labor, with robots, with automation, and with AI-based solutions. I've shown you guys over the last few Friday Eyes the apple picking robots, the fruit picking robots, the strawberry picking robots that are already going online. They will be mass rolled out by fall of next year. There are three growing windows, depending on what kind of major crop shift we're talking about, not just like 3 summers. 3 growing windows away from ubiquity. They're going to start rolling them out. Every farmer, that's part of what that whole like write off all your equipment shit is too, is so that they can buy these things and broom immigrants. That's part of that's the purpose. I'm telling you. And on top of that, like the AI, pesticide, like machines basically that have either lasers or can spot hit plants or bugs with pesticide, or a laser to kill a certain plant before it can, an invasive plant before it grows and takes the soil from whatever the crop you're trying to raise is. Right? Bill says my crop is indoors. I think I have a feeling. I'm pretty sure I know what that is. Yeah. Also, the dangerous really your show. Yes, you're going to be. Yes. What could possibly go wrong? Well, here's the thing. It's going to go that way anyways. They're just trying to shorten the timeline from 5 years, which will be into the next presidency. Trump wants, he's been bullshitted by the people around him that it can happen way faster. But it can only happen way faster if the government treats it like a fucking space race. So they've got to dump a shit ton of money into the mechanics of it, the robotic industries, all those kinds of stuff. They have to flood the AI companies with money so that they can pick this slack up through contracts like this. That's why Brooke Rollins is there. Okay, so Trump was supposed to more than likely sit down with these folks. He passed on it. He's also just missing today. He had nothing else on his schedule except the dinner tonight, which he may or may not even go to, right? Or may not have gone to now because it's East Coast time. It would have been at 8 o'clock. Here's Kash Patel. Day after the Epstein files, these guys are running out everywhere, all across the country. Let's see, where is he? Okay, so this is it doesn't say on the description where he is, but they've basically spread out all over the country. They're going everywhere trying to draw news attention away from DC, because the survivors and the victims of Jeffrey Epstein are still in DC. They're trying to draw attention away from that vote for real. So that's what this fucking AI bullshit gathering with the heads of all the tech companies, because of the biggest people on the Dow and the NASDAQ right now, meeting with the first lady for this blather, the Kash Patel coming out, and then Pam Bondi. We'll hear a little bit of what he has to say.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's great to be in Ohio on one of the FBI's primary initiatives since I became the director. Ohio, like the rest of the country, has suffered from a drug epidemic, and it's taken too many of the lives of our children and our youth and our communities. And
did they just wake him up and make him come out there? This whole thing. Ohio's got the shit in the stick for a long time, like a lot of other people. Shit.
And this Operation Box Cutter, would not have been possible without the interagency efforts.
Operation Box Cutter? Oh, because they're cutting boxes and looking inside of them instead of just letting them come through the ports, which is where fentanyl comes in the country.
Both the DEA, the United States Attorney's Office, and of course our FBI field office here in Cincinnati, and our state.
Also, why this isn't in stereo, I have no idea.
Partners. And we wanted to take time to highlight why this is such an important takedown. It is the first.
Because it draws attention away from the Epstein files?
Of its kind in terms of how we actually get after the threat that is Chinese precursors, which are used to make fentanyl, which is used to kill tens of thousands of Americans a year. We're done playing whack-a-mole. The brilliant case team here and the prosecutors here and the local and state authorities here created.
You mean the regular rank and file FBI agents who were there before you and have been at this for a long time and have been doing their fucking job. You have just basically shown up with your fake badge that you insisted. You wanted to get a brick agent badge and pretend you're a fucking workhorse and steal their valor, just like Pete Keg's breath when he's doing fucking PT and having breakfast with the troops.
Program whereby if you want to end the pandemic of fentanyl and cocaine.
Excuse me, the plandemic.
meth. You have to go after where it's made, how it's made, and what goes.
Can I also point out that had anyone in the Biden administration referred to fentanyl as a pandemic, Glenn Beck and all these assholes would have done shows about, here it comes, the next pandemic. They've already got it ready. It's going to be with drugs, and they're going to use searching for drugs as the way to violate everybody's First Amendment rights, and then FEMA camps, and then we're all going to get a fucking electrode up our butthole.
Making it. And the brilliant team here, our case team, was able to figure out the companies in mainland China that produce the fentanyl, the locals here in Ohio and across America, along with the banking institutions and the flow of money, and to shutter them with this indictment in one fell swoop. It is years of work targeting a...
Yeah, years of work. Yeah, they've been at it for a long time. You just swooped in to take the fucking credit. I rest my case. Now let's hop over to Pam Bondi doing the exact same thing. This is all about distracting from the Epstein shit by going on and largely taking credit for shit that was started under Biden, that Trump largely ignored. Hold on, let's see if they...
For coming. We have a presentation and a press release for you today and a press conference. And
great.
This is in dealing with alien smuggling and human trafficking, something that are priorities for the Department of Justice and for the Attorney General, Pam Bondi.
Are they all? I guess they all are, right? They're all shit audio, and they're all... all right. Let me see...
The Middle District of Florida.
There you go. The local Fox affiliate has it louder. Shit. Okay, here we go.
Thank you for coming. We have a presentation and a press release for you today.
Great, dude. I want to introduce Pam Bondi to come on down here and take credit for all the shit these people were working on.
Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi.
Thank you. Thank you, U.S. Attorney Kehoe. Thanks for everything that you're doing, and to all our incredible U.S. attorneys around the country.
Yeah, who have been at this shit. And like, again, this is all about the Trump administration rolling in and taking credit. Like, we're this close to Trump saying, I passed the Infrastructure Act.
My first day as Attorney General under President Trump's leadership, we announced that the Department of Justice would pursue the total elimination of cartels and transnational criminal organizations. Thanks to President Trump, many...
Shit. You mean we're going to start... Is that why we're bombing Venezuela?
These groups, many of these gangs are now classified as foreign terrorist organizations because they pose an extreme threat to not only our country, but to our world.
Also, to our world. Fuck me. Like, this is a declaration of war to any country that has a gang problem. And the United States, I guess now under the authorized use of military force in the war on terror, can now just roll in with boats and just fuck. I mean, they literally killed 11 people in a fucking speedboat who didn't stop, because why would they? Without, and just, it was an extrajudicial assassination of 11 people. Like, we don't know who the fuck those people were any more than they do. They're telling everybody they were Tren de Aragua. How the fuck do you know? What, do you got an aerial shot of their goddamn tattoos? Did one of them have like a fucking pineapple and a milkshake and a hat and a dog's face on his knuckles? And like that, if you take a letter out of each one, it means dang.
Traffic drugs, weapons, and people.
Right. It's an illicit business. It's not terrorism. As a matter of fact, a terrorist wants to kill as many Americans on purpose. Drug dealers want as many drug users as they can possibly get without killing them. They want to be just shy of killing them. As a matter of fact, if stuff starts killing them, they dial it back. It's, by the way, one of the reasons besides profit that they cut drugs to make them go farther is it dilutes them a little bit, so you'd have fewer overdoses. When they would sell the pure stuff on the street, back in the 60s, people were keeling over left and right. So they started watering it down.
American community.
That's why people don't drink fucking straight grain alcohol from a still. That's why they put ice and Diet Coke in it.
Destroyed.
I guess, because I don't do drugs and I don't drink, but I've seen movies.
Drives up their profit margins.
Yeah, exactly, dumbass. They're businesses. They're not terrorists. Terrorists aren't in the terrorism business. They're in the see ya on the other side business.
No longer. We are investigating and prosecuting their crimes more aggressively than ever. And
No, you're not. Shooting a boat out of the water without knowing who's in it or trying them for anything is not aggressively prosecuting anything. It is literally just a straight up act of the military. It doesn't involve the Department of Justice. It's an extrajudicial killing. Hey, asshole, you don't think like black sites are like the DOJ really doing its job, do you?
Task Force Alpha.
Of course she does.
Is the tip of the spear. We have been working on that with Secretary Kristi Noem, Homeland Security, and I cannot say enough good things about Secretary Noem. I was with her in Louisiana yesterday.
And her face is right over my shoulder. It's that big now.
She is fighting to keep our country safe every single day.
Isn't she the Homeland Security Secretary? Maybe she'd leave the fighting up to the other people and maybe strategize? She is strategizing every day?
Just this week, Joint Task Force Alpha took 4 major enforcement actions. Right here in Tampa, we unsealed the indictment charging 12 defendants operating a massive. Right here in Tampa.
What? In Tampa? In Florida? You're kidding me. Where you used to work for years and Donald Trump and his buddies would snort illicit chemicals?
Illegal smuggling ring. The defendants engaged in a conspiracy to bring illegal aliens from Cuba to the U.S. for profit.
In Florida? Really? An attempt to bring people from Cuba, and people in Cuba were paying them to get them here? To get them to Florida? When did that start?
Coached their clients, including children who
they coached them so that they could stay?
Came to airports alone, came to our country alone.
Oh my God. But that didn't stop you from sending them back, though. I mean, I hope you didn't fly them back. I hope you put them in a fucking raft like Moses and just kicked them, said, paddle towards Cuba.
Put on planes for connecting flights, lied to Border Patrol agents due to coaching, and
the children were lying. Thank God they put a stop to this. Another American life saved from a evil Cuban toddler who is smart enough to lie his way past a border agent.
Law enforcement. They charged up to $40,000 per victim.
Sorry, these people are paying $40,000 to be victimized? It sounds like well-to-do people in Cuba are paying a lot of money to get into the United States. It doesn't sound like they're selling Cuban kids like they've got too many of them. It sounds like people are sending their family members to be picked up by other family members through these smugglers. Unless someone's... look, please take us to the Cuban restaurant where they are eating the babies. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe who is filleting the toddlers? What's happening to them? That's the other thing they won't tell you. Where'd they end up? With their family members here.
They used Zelle to transfer over $7 million over the course of this scheme. And I believe...
Which has been going on since the 60s? Or
had profits, cash of over $18 million.
Damn. That's a lot of Cubano toddlers.
And it's just not the southern border.
That's not a border at all, ma'am. That's a coast. kind of different. See, a border in a lot of ways, you can assume that the border is the entirety of the country, but we have, but interior borders at the port systems, for example, that are well within the actual area. It's almost like an internationally murky zone in some of those. But the coasts are not borders. They are, there's a whole washy area of what the water area means, what's America without actually touching land, hence one wet foot, one dry foot. You know this. You helped facilitate it.
Vermont. And U.S. Attorney Drescher is here with us. We indicted Norma Lorenzo, a woman who allegedly worked with Canadian co-conspirators from Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, and El Salvador.
A woman. The future was female. Well, not anymore, Miss Lorenzo.
Children were transferred to private residences, other airports, and in 2023, according to CBP, parts of Vermont and New York start.
I thought they were going to say parts of children.
Seeing unprecedented traffic from illegal aliens.
Yeah, people were sending their children, as Venezuela was collapsing and other countries around it were collapsing, people were sending their children to live with relatives in the United States that were here both legally and illegally, because it was safer for their fucking children. But they couldn't come themselves because they knew they would be turned away. So they just sent a little kid thinking there's less of a chance that they'll be sent back. And it's wherever they end up in the United States or Canada, it's better than back home. And imagine being like a parent that desperate. Oh my God. But they, of course, all went to the basement of Comet Ping Pong, where Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin stuck a straw in their head and drank their brain juice, which is why Hillary never ages. By God, the last time I saw her, she looked like Jennifer Aniston.
Enforcement officers operating in these areas encountered aliens from 97 different countries.
Yeah, that happens a lot at Customs and Border Patrol, ports of entry and airports.
Including China, Pakistan, Iraq, Iran.
China, Pakistan? That sounds like a big country.
Afghanistan, North Korea, and Yemen.
Yeah, it sounds like people trying to send their kids away.
In the Southern District this week of Texas.
Not this one, but that one.
Nick Ganji's here. We secured the extradition of 3 men from Guatemala who have been charged in connection with a mass casualty alien smuggling event. This tragic event occurred in 2021 in Chiapas, Mexico.
Okay, wait. So a bunch of migrants died in Chiapas, and you're bringing them to the United States to be tried because they were smuggling people into the United States. So sorry, you're bringing 3 illegal immigrants into the system to try them for something that happened in another country?
Mexico, a semi-truck containing at least 160 illegal aliens crashed, resulting in the deaths of more than 50 people. The cost of human smuggling is huge.
Right, but why isn't Mexico prosecuting that? It happened in fucking Mexico. They might have been on their way here. They might not. Why are we flying 3, like 2 fucking truck drivers and the dude selling the tickets to the United States to face trial in Texas if the crash happened in Chiapas?
So many families are dying. So many people are dying. These smugglers...
Yeah, but they're dying trying to get in here. And you're the one saying, fuck you, turn around. I mean, you could argue that maybe that truck had turned around and gone back with all those people in it, and that's when the wreck happened because you turned them away. If you'd have let them in, or if they'd have been allowed to come into the country, they might be alive now then. What the fuck do you care?
A variety of vehicles, including microbuses, tractor trailers.
What? A tractor trailer?
And cattle trucks.
Cattle trucks. which is a tractor trailer.
Smuggle multiple Guatemalan aliens, including many unaccompanied minors, into this country.
Yeah, we know. And they weren't going to be made into sandwiches, lady.
Western District of Texas, where Justin Simmons is our U.S. attorney. We just this week charged 4 defendants with their role in a deplorable scheme, smuggling unaccompanied children into the United States from Mexico. These monsters behind the operation drugged unaccompanied children coming into our country, giving them THC so they would be asleep when passing through customs. One of the children...
Yeah, it sounds like they were trying to make sure they didn't make a noise so they wouldn't get caught, so they would make it through. Yeah, that's terrible. We know. But again, what's your alternative for those kids not ending up in the United States? Are they safer in Chiapas? Is that your argument? Should the unaccompanied minor children be sent back to a country that you think they're from, with no parents waiting there for them?
Was overdosed so badly that the child had to go to the hospital. Since
Sorry, technically they're all overdosed because there's no dose of THC for children.
Trump took office, Joint Task Force Alpha has charged 56 defendants, including convicting a monster who attempted to bring in Indian nationals into our country in sub-zero weather through Canada in the middle of a blizzard.
Yeah, just driving through Canada in a blizzard, you have to be a monster, eh?
It's a family of 4. This family was eventually found dead in a blizzard with the father holding the 3-year-old little boy wrapped in a blanket with his glove covering his child's face, trying to save his life.
Okay, yes, that's terrible. Canada should be prosecuting that person. They didn't actually make it into the United States. Again, are we taking over the, are we just going to prosecute every crime that happens outside the United States now too? Is Pam Bondi now the AG of Earth? Is that what she thinks? Seriously, 2 of the specific crimes she brought up happened in other countries to people that are not citizens, perpetrated by people who are not citizens. I don't know where the fuck.
In June, we arrested a Canadian-American citizen in New York for charging $1,000 for every illegal alien he smuggled over the St. Lawrence River into our
He was charging too little, or whatever, you weren't getting your slice, or?
country. One of the boats capsized, killing a family, including 2 children under the age of 3. A few weeks ago, we convicted a coyote in Texas. A coyote, of course, is someone who transports illegal...
Yeah, we're pretty sure you're not taking prairie dogs to prison.
...aliens across state lines for money. In Texas, we charged him for charging $30,000 for every 10 illegal aliens that he could get across get to the Rio Grande. He got an additional $30,000 for every 10 illegal aliens that made it across the Rio Grande alive. That is why we are now...
So they had to incentivize it. So, all right. So 60 grand to make sure they arrive alive.
Expanding Joint Task Force Alpha.
Great. She's going to expand Joint Task Force Alpha, which has been doing what these AGs do as a task force in regard to the border all the time.
It has 5 steps. We will now cover, the task force will now cover our northern border in Canada, of course, and all of our maritime borders. Mm-hmm. Our incredible partner again.
So the Coast Guard is now being turned into a law enforcement arm specifically for the AGs of the states.
At DHS, Kristi Noem and I are expanding this to include our DEA, ATF, and FBI agents to this task force to give us.
They already are on, well, I mean, maybe they're not on Task Force Alpha, but they have an entire division in each of those that has to do with the border. Everywhere. They always have.
Even more.
That's why, and they all, by the way, it wouldn't matter. You could needle drop what she just mentioned in almost any year, and the FBI, the DEA, the ATF spokesperson, whoever it is, the AGs of these particular states could give you a story like she's giving you about 10 different people. Every single year, all the time, every time. This is just like, again, this is political distraction specifically to get her out of town and draw attention away from the Epstein files. She can't be looking for the Epstein files while she can't meet with the Epstein victims. She's in Florida dealing with human smuggling. Kash Patel can't meet with the victims and talk about what files the FBI has. He's in fucking Ohio yammering about a fucking moonshine like still he kicked over.
Power. We will receive more resources to prosecute these cases, and key figures in cartel, human trafficking, and transnational criminals.
What she's, in case you don't understand, I'm going to translate for you. Fuck the Epstein victims. That's what she's trying to say. Just to clarify.
We will strengthen our collaboration with foreign law enforcement throughout this world.
With, you mean? With. Not when, but with. You're going to strengthen your bonds with foreign law enforcement.
Transnational criminals. We will strengthen our collaboration with foreign law enforcement throughout.
When. She's using the old English. I apologize. When therein, hear ye, the strengthening of our law enforcement bonds with our fellows across the pond will continue apace in the name of His Majesty Orange Shitler.
This world to protect not only their citizens but ours.
That's right. We're hey, chat room. Hey, remember how maggots were like, we gotta stop being the policemen of the world. Remember that? Yeah, transnational for everyone. That's what transgender means for everyone. Yeah, human animal hybrid. Yeah, we're gonna have a colon aberration. I'm in Kentucky. You don't know moonshine. I beg your pardon. They're trans-national gangs, so they're just they're white nationalists, but who happen to be trans, I guess in this case. So everybody, all the maggots who are like, we got to stop being the world's police. Donald Trump's gonna come in there, man, and he's gonna be the peace president, and we're gonna stop being the world's police. And meanwhile, this dipshit is like, we are going to arrest people in other countries for crimes that happened in those countries, perpetuated against citizens of other countries by the people who live in the other countries. There are no Americans involved except your tax dollars prosecuting people that Mexico should throw in jail. Good night. Holy shit. P.S. We're fucking sinking boats that are on the coast of Venezuela.
Return these criminals to American soil for prosecution.
Right. These, so far, by the way, that didn't commit a crime on American soil to American citizens and aren't American citizens themselves, we're going to fly these fuckers back and throw them in jail. I got news for you. Half these assholes would rather be in an American jail than one in their own country anyways. Fucking cush. Seriously, what do you think these guys would rather be in? CCOT or an American Supermax? I'm not kidding. Think about that for a fucking second. Where you going, Charlie? I'm going to turn myself in. Why? Hey, either he throws me in CCOT or I'm going to go... There's a place in Florida, man. They got a pool. Fuck me. Jesus.
Under President Trump, we have coordinated more closely with our U.S. attorneys' offices to protect unaccompanied children being smuggled into our country from exploitation.
Yeah, by the way, the exploitation of actually being allowed into the country. Tell yourself that all you want. But what she means is we are catching these children when they come in and we are sending them back, whether there's anyone waiting for them when they arrive or not. And again, the Biden administration was taking some of these kids and putting them with Catholic charities so they could be adopted or be in foster homes or get people from the community that would act as sponsors until they could be adopted. And Pam Bondi's answer is nah, fuck them, send them back. Whatever plane they were on, just the next flight back, throw them in there. If they're coming from on a fucking raft from Cuba, just turn it around. Sorry, Moses, buzz off.
One of the task force's greatest accomplishments has been demonstrating how dangerous human smuggling and trafficking are for those being transported.
What, do you have some sort of scared straight program for migrants? Do you go down there and put on little plays? Why don't you get in the truck? But I don't think it's safe to be in the truck. It's very hot. Get in the truck. Okay, here's my $10,000. Perhaps this might be the last $10,000 I ever see in my whole stinking cooked life. Oh my God, we are in what the bumpy road. There are no snacks. Oh, it's hot in here. Why did the truck stop? We've been sitting here for a long time. Where is the water? Thank you. That's Pam Bondi starring in Don't Get Into the Truck.
For those who are considering paying to be smuggled into the U.S., it is not safe for you or for your families.
Sorry, what are you going to do? Shoot them? If they make it? It's not safe to stay. If you're paying $30,000, $40,000 to get your fucking family out of a... Imagine being a Guatemalan with $120K to spare. You can't get into the country legally, but you got $120K in Guatemala? What the fuck? Where did they make that money? Maybe they're leaving because they got money. They're afraid of being robbed.
These coyotes are coordinating with terrorist organizations, collecting money from them to bring families and unaccompanied children into our country.
Oh, terrorist organization. She means drug companies. Like, oh, not only is the truck hot, but I think that condom full of smack in my asshole has burst. Sorry. I'm just saying I don't have a lot of faith in the artistic integrity of the playwright that created the scared straight play that she performs in South America. Smuggle puppets. Hold on. All right, you fuckers. Little kids, get up in get in the truck. I don't care. Yeah, it's hot. Yeah, what's that smell? I'll tell you what that smell is. Rotting you. Just get in the goddamn truck. Your parents paid good money, and you're gonna catch a ride, you dumb motherfucker. Get in the goddamn truck. Huh? Sit down. Don't freak out. That's the sound of the door closing. You don't think we're gonna ride up there? Now, here, I'm gonna pass around the happy juice. And you guys are going to take a sip of it. And Carlos over there, don't take a big sip. The last Carlos we had overdosed. It wasn't he didn't die. He lived. But by the time we got there, he'd written like 2 albums. So, anyways, don't get in the truck. It's not a good idea. If you give a fuck and you don't want diarrhea, don't get in the truck. Good night, kids. Thanks, Matt. Matt the Maggoty Rat, everybody, with don't get in the truck. It's not a good idea. It's look, we do that show to help dissuade people who, yes, there might be gang violence and your child might be in danger of being literally sold for spare parts, have their kidneys removed, or sold into slavery in your own country. But better that than getting in a Ryder truck with a couple of juice boxes and going to America, because you never know, if you get there, some blonde lady's going to make the truck turn around and they didn't bring enough juice boxes for the ride home. So it just becomes an easy bake. God damn, she's an asshole. Ugh. All right, so that's our slash and burn for the evening. Now, I do want to address one thing. Rudy Giuliani has been replaced by a cyborg. It's Robo Rudy. Robo Rudy, that's the name. If you want child porn, he's your game. All right, what the fuck? This is the coffee he sells. I don't know why he's got a Reagan, and that's a Reagan iPad cover. In his hat or whatever. So Rudy's Rudy clears the air on his recent car crash in New Hampshire. So we get to hear the bullshit story.
Mr. Mayor, so good to see you.
Oh my God, and it's Greg Kelly, the most miserable man on the internet.
Alive and, well, not totally well, but on the mend.
That's never been true.
How are you, sir?
I am on the mend. Thank you.
I almost feel like there needs to be like a fucking, hold on. This is gonna, I know. Give me a second. What the fuck? Get out of here. Give me soundboard. Let's try this one. I need sound effects. I don't need... I'm just going to have to do them myself, aren't I? Hold on. Nah, they don't have them. Never mind. I'll do all of them.
Very much, Greg, and thank you for your concern. I really appreciate it. All the people at Newsmax, but it was quite a hit. We got banged in the back.
So it's just like any other night at Mar-a-Lago, then, I guess. Look out! Watch out! Watch yourself.
Technically, I have a broken back.
Technically.
Fracture. It hurts, but it's getting better.
It hurts, like a broken back would.
And I have about 2 or 3 weeks of rehabilitation.
Really? I don't think it... I think you're going to need longer. If they're trying to turn you into a decent human being, it's going to take years. It may not even be possible.
Fortunately, we stopped, Ted and I did, for this woman.
Uh-huh. Sure you did.
She was flagging us down, and she claimed to be the victim of domestic abuse, and she wanted our help.
She said it that way. Help! I have been the victim of... Run into him. I have been the victim of domestic abuse. Apparently, my husband doesn't like the fact that my tits are so big and look so enticing to men as they drive by. Wouldn't you say? Got him.
Very strange.
Yes, most people that don't come out and go, I claim to be the victim of domestic violence. Stop your car.
Offered her a ride. We offered her...
I bet you did.
Then she sort of backed off, and we called the police. The long and short of it is, she got arrested, and she had beaten the hell out of the guy.
And it only cost him an extra $50.
Actually beat him up pretty bad.
Greg's like, oh dear God, he was driving by my house.
All right.
It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, I can't. Don't tell stories about my street. I didn't realize you guys were. That was my block.
so that was then we drove as we were driving away, we got hit in the back by a young.
Look at that. Greg is all of us right now. What? I know I'm supposed to believe anything you say because of your proximity to the president and my skeevish loyalty to this prick, but what?
Woman, I'm sure
You are the Brute Squad.
she was like rubbernecking, because there were police cars there, there were ambulances there.
How long were you there? I'm starting to believe that you were engaged in the actual domestic violence.
The fire truck, because there was a little fire, I guess.
She is a giant woman with yes. It was this roving woman with giant tits who had set fire to her boyfriend.
So there was quite a scene.
Mm-hmm. So why did you stop if there were already fucking cops and firemen? Why are you helping? How long were you fucking there? What?
So she was going along very, very fast. She must have,
as you do on the road,
taken her eyes off the road. I'm surmising this because all we happened to us was we got hit like hell, and I kind of got whiplashed from the body.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Whiplash is a real thing. It happens to your neck. It's a great Metallica song, and it's a fantastic movie. But you didn't get whiplash of the body. You got maybe. I think the chances are higher that you got whiplash of the bowels. Personally, I think that's like it was like. That's more than likely. Oh boy, what happened? Do I have a? Can I like this one? And then what happened? And then and then he got pulled over, and then some guy came by on a bike, and then there was a crash, and then and then the airplane showed up. And then the car got hit from behind, and then that was the sound of his back. And then they used the jaws of life, and is what they heard when they broke the seal on the window. It just came out.
The seatbelt held me back, held my neck.
Weird.
Back, but my body went forward and back, like really fast, and I was in terrible pain right away.
Well,
and then over the weekend they took care of.
You got that brace thing, whatever, right? That's the equipment.
Yeah, well spotted, Greg. It seems to be some sort of brace thing. It's a back brace. It's a back brace. Put a back brace on somebody, it's got to have a front part that keeps it attached to the back. Otherwise, it will just, I suppose, fall off.
Mr. Mayor, we're glad you're all right.
He's not all right. But his problems predate the accident.
Just for anybody who doesn't know, that's when you're driving by. I mean, some people may not know. I think.
Wait a minute. What the? Whoa. Hold on. Stop, Greg. Stop. Look, I knew this was going to be dumb, but I knew what Rudy said was going to be stupid. But I'm sorry, Greg Kelly thinks he has to explain what rubbernecking is to his crowd.
Rubbernecking, just for anybody who doesn't know, that's when you're driving by. I mean, some people may not know. I think that's a New York thing. You're driving by a crowd.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's rubbernecking. It's a soft R. Fucking like, thanks for doing the little pantomime. It's like, I say what you will about the maggots today, But I gotta say, they're all doing little shows for us. Pam Bondi's got her little Scared Straight in Guatemala play that she's doing. Here's Greg Kelly showing us what rubbernecking is. And then... It's all, I feel like I was there. Look, they're both they're both there. It's gonna kill me. And what a puss. Who 10 and 2's that? What are you driving? Fucking like a Cooper from the fucking 60s? Vroom. How big are the pedals in this fucking mime car that he's driving? Like, ew. So yeah. So most of it, I think it's a New York thing. You do it in golf carts mostly. You ever been at you're doing the Pinewood Derby, and you're sitting there and your little wooden car is going down the ramp and you're like, wee, and everybody's looking at you and you're like, why am I here? I'm a 37-year-old man. Wait, no. Explain to me again what rubbernecking is and how it works. Even Rudy is feeling assaulted by this entire fucking explanation. And this is the moment, by the way. This is the moment when it occurs to Greg Kelly that his audience might not know what rubbernecking is, and he might have to jump in. You can see it crossing his... rubbernecking. Are they going to understand in the heartland? I've talked to both my viewers, and I'm fairly certain neither of them still drive.
You got that brace thing, whatever.
Easy with the techno mumbo jumbo.
Right, that's the equipment. Mr. Mayor, we're glad you're all right. Rubbernecking, just for anybody who doesn't know, that's when you're driving by. I mean, some people may not know. I think that's a New York thing. You're driving by a crash and everybody looks, right? Everybody looks. She wasn't arrested or anything like that, right?
Yeah, it's just a New York thing. I've never, and nobody... Does anybody know how to even spell that word? Rubbernecking? Is that what they do? Is that a Long Island thing? I think it's a little, and you go honk honk, and yeah, and you're driving and everybody looks. And it's like, why wasn't this? Obviously, a female driver should have been arrested, according to Greg.
She was not doing anything wrong, right?
Yeah, she was. Rubbernecking, if you crash while you're rubbernecking, that's yes, you have violated the law. You're not looking where you're going. That's against the law. When you're driving a motor vehicle, please, no wonder Greg is on the bus. We've just figured it out. Of course. Greg has no idea what the law is about where the driver's supposed to look because he's never been one.
Really didn't get to see her much. Ted got to talk to her. She was in a complete panic. Poor girl was in a complete panic. I don't think, it's anything other than she lost concentration. And the troopers told us...
You wish.
It's a lot more frequent than you think when you have...
Yeah, that's the thing. The troopers will talk to you. Go, this happens all the time to Rudy.
These big pileups on the highway that they get one or two more accidents.
Yes, I've seen an episode of Chips or two. Imagine what the show would look like if they'd have had cell phones back then.
Behind it or on the side of it. I guess it's a human characteristic. People watch fires.
Yeah.
I never understood.
Characteristic. I've never understood why people watch fires. I guess I'm above all those other fire watchers. By the way, does anybody recall Ty Webb in Caddyshack was he took one of those personality exams. What did it say he should be when he grows up? A fire watcher. That's true. Just for the record. Said I should be a fire watcher. Use drugs, Danny? Every day. What's the problem? I don't know.
Stand there and watch the fire.
Well, Mr. Mayor.
In the street and apparently get rear-ended.
I demand to see her cell phone because I want to know if she was texting. I'm not. I'm not a cop. I don't want anybody. But listen.
Flaking. What is happening to Greg? What is this? What? Like he made Giuliani laugh. Unintentionally, obviously, and now he's wilting in front of, don't laugh at me. I don't deserve the attention. Why? All
right, just a couple more things. So Ted Goodman, your trusted aide, is a young man. He's about 30. He's a great guy. We all like him. He was driving and you were in the passenger seat?
Yeah, in case, what, Greg, you're going to be a witness after the
correct.
fact?
Right, we were just driving away. We had finished, we had been there about an hour.
No,
about
the event. Let me just ask you, and Ted had his seatbelt on, and you had his seatbelt on.
He did, thank God, yes.
All right, and
thank God.
The thing that happened on Saturday night that confused a lot of us.
No, I think it's thank the Transportation Safety Board that makes the laws about seatbelts, I suppose.
Because it was like a statement came out, and it told two stories. The story about the alleged, the domestic abuse and the cops arriving, and then the next story about you getting hit by the car. We couldn't figure out if they were related.
Yeah, they were. Like, Rudy sees a woman in a bad relationship in a bad way or whatever and thinks, I can scoop this woman up and abuse her for years, like my ex-assistant.
We're really scratching their heads.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was, I think, confusing to people that didn't put it together. But, I mean, they really were all part of the same thing. The same police officers that we reported the domestic abuse with, really just fine young men. They were terrific, and a woman, terrific state troopers. They then responded to our accident, so we got to be really friendly. They came to the hospital with me, and
they did mouth to mouth. Some of them are. One of the guys is still in counseling.
And as you might imagine, I love cops, so we became good friends.
Well, the cops love you too, Mr. Mayor. Hey.
Wow, just bailing on it. I feel I've grown watching that. Now, last thing I know I've gone over. By the way, we didn't have time for this tonight, obviously, but Greg thinks the Disney Channel made kids gay. We'll cover that tomorrow. I need to know how he works this out. Maybe he just can't spell, and this whole time he's like, M-I-C. C is for cock. K, gay-E-Y. Why did they have to say gay and why did they have gay and everybody's so happy? I don't trust anybody that's happy. Yeah. This is okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so there were a lot of these clips flying around today of everybody yelling at RFK Jr. and with good reason. I was less struck, and I saw a couple of these.
President Trump.
I was less struck by the people asking the questions and even his response, and more by like how shitty RFK Jr. looks and how gacked out he is on like his fucking forehead's twitching. He's sunburned. You'll see.
Who I don't usually agree with, called COVID vaccines, quote, one of the greatest miracles in the history of modern day medicine that saved tens of millions of lives.
By the way, that you heard, that's RFK Jr.
Scientific community agrees with Trump. Lance.
That's right. And we all have to thank Operation Fart Steed.
Captain's log.
There you go.
Study found that it prevented almost 20 million deaths during their first year of use. Secretary Kennedy, are President Trump and the medical community right, or do you still believe that the COVID vaccine was, quote, the deadliest vaccine ever made?
No, first of all, I didn't say that. I said that in terms of affairs reports a while ago. I said today, I think that President Trump should get the Nobel Prize.
So who's right? Is Trump in the medical community right, or are you right?
President Trump did an extraordinary piece of leadership.
Is he right or wrong? Did COVID save millions of lives?
As I said, he got Americans back to work. At that time, that particular vaccine was...
It got Americans back to work.
Perfectly matched the virus that was circulating then.
Also, no, it didn't. Johnson & Johnson was a standard vaccine. That was the one that had myocarditis associated with it. None of the mRNAs had that. And Trump had both the mRNAs and the mAbs.
I have no idea how many lives it saved, but it saved quite a few.
Well, maybe you should figure out how many it saved versus anybody you think was harmed. And also, the VAERS thing he is talking about is the voluntary adverse reaction reporting board or whatever. The V, a lot of maggots think the V in Vera stands for verified. And that's the trick of the name of that thing. When it's voluntary, it's people going, I think I was harmed by this vaccine. Right. And it's full of people who don't believe in vaccines, fake reporting shit that, you know, anything that's wrong with them years after the fact, or anybody that died the day they got it, it must have been the vaccine that killed them, right?
You know, what I find a little bit weird in this...
It's your face. All right, so let me show you. There's a couple others. He talks to Wyden.
Senator Wyden. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I've made it clear I think that Secretary Kennedy is dead set on making it harder for children to get vaccines and that kids are going to die because of it. And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to put in the record today an op-ed written by Susan Monarez, who was fired by Mr. Kennedy.
Without objection.
So what we know, and Dr. Monarez, you know, was approved by Republicans. She wrote an op-ed today in the Wall Street Journal, which I've just put in the record, and I quote her. She said, I was told to pre-approve the recommendations of a vaccine advisory panel newly filled with people who have publicly expressed anti-vaccine rhetoric. So this is not some liberal philosopher or something. This is the CDC director who tells the Wall Street Journal, which is not exactly interested in progressive, you know, theories and the like, that she was told to pre-approve the recommendations of a vaccine advisory panel filled with people who've publicly expressed anti-vaccine rhetoric. So my first question, Mr. Secretary, is did you in fact do what Director Monarez said you did, which is tell her to just go along with vaccine recommendations even if she didn't think such recommendations aligned with scientific evidence?
That is no, I did not.
That's a yes or no. So you have an opportunity to call her a liar if you say that you didn't do it, but I'd like to see you respond to this.
No, I did not say that to her. And I never had a private meeting with her. So there are witnesses to every meeting that we have, and all of those witnesses will say, I never said that.
So she's lying.
Look at this motherfucker. Beyond, and by the way, the idea that he didn't meet with her, didn't speak, and he's like, every time I met with her, there were other people present. Yes, you talked to her on the phone. So you got internal memos that Trump is allowing you to hide that they came from that side. Like, get the fuck out of here. Secondly, like, dude is a mess. He's twitchy as fuck. I mean, he's got a short temper anyways, and he gets all fucking wound up and starts yelling at everybody.
I've made it clear I think that Secretary Kennedy is dead set on making it harder for children to get vaccines and that kids...
Hold on, let's get this. He jumps in.
I'd say that to her. And I never had a private meeting with her. So there are witnesses to every meeting that we have, and all of those witnesses will say, I never said that.
So she's lying today to the American people in the Wall Street Journal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's talk now about what's coming up. Because I made...
Look at his fucking breathing. Like, he's just enraged.
Or what I've thought about the 203, days with my colleague, Senator Also Brooks. In 2 weeks, CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices will meet to make decisions about critical vaccines that protect us against hepatitis B, measles, and more. The committee's got a profound impact on vaccine access, but these aren't ordinary meetings. You've stacked the deck to ensure the panel bends to your views. In June, you fired all 17 committee members who were respected scientists and doctors. You replaced them with non-experts, vaccine skeptics, and conspiracy theorists. As a result, this critical advisory panel has lost scientific credibility. After years, colleagues, we spend so much time not looking at this as Democrats and Republicans, but as good science and scientific, credibility. And now the American Academy of Pediatrics has warned that the committee is being politicized at the expense of children's health. American Academy of Pediatrics, you think they're lying too?
I think the American Academy of Pediatrics is gravely conflicted. They get their biggest contributors are the 4 largest vaccine makers. They run a journal, Pediatrics, which they make a lot of money on, that is completely dependent on pharmaceutical companies. So I don't.
Sorry, so these guys, let's get this straight. His premise is that
I didn't get that. Did you try again?
No. His premise is that the largest group that represents pediatric doctors in this country, the doctors that deal with children all the time, are willing participants in the poisoning of children, the intentional destruction of their lives and nervous systems for money. And his proof is that the Journal of Pediatrics subscription payments that they get, and the journal itself, the money made from that magazine for that subset of doctors, is so much fucking money that they can't not just, of course you're going to kill some kids and be willy-nilly with dangerous chemicals injected into babies' arms because, come on, what are we going to do, sell ads? We need that sweet subscription money.
I wouldn't put a big stake in what they say that benefits pharmaceutical interests. Senator, I didn't politicize ASAP. I depoliticized it. The Congress has been investigating ASAP.
All over the country, Mr. Secretary, scientists and doctors are saying otherwise. They're all wrong, too. They're all lying, according to you.
The scientists and doctors are supporting me all over the country. There is division on opinion.
I don't get letters from thousands of people who are not political saying that this set of changes is going to damage American health care.
Listen to him fucking grumbling and growling like a dead bear you'd leave in Central Park.
Particularly these healthcare agencies for decades to come. I don't get any.
Listen to this. You can hear him like on the mic. Dude.
People saying, hey, this is going to make a big difference forever.
Yeah, maybe you're listening to a selective group of people.
Well, you get me.
Yeah, and I will.
Fine.
I will tell you what, Senator. I will put my mailbag against your mailbag any day of the week.
I got 30 seconds. Dangerous.
I think that's supposed to be some Tate brother, Joe Rogan-y alpha male nutsack reference stuff, or that he gets more letters than Wyden does, which, by the way, as the Secretary of Health and Human Services, he would, than the Oregon senator.
Respiratory viruses.
And most of them are like, fuck you.
Like RSV are on the agenda for the next advisory.
Listen to that motherfucker. What the fuck is happening? Does he need a medical intervention? Shit.
Meeting. Countless parents have been awakened in the dead of night by a wheezing kid gasping for air, forced to rush their little one to the ER. There's no worse heart-wrenching fear. The RSV vaccine offers these.
You guys hear that, right? It's loud enough.
Protection against the worst effects of the virus. But now it looks like you're on a.
I half expect them to cut away to him. He just.
To make infants and babies more vulnerable to the terrible illness. That's what we're doing with the COVID.
I appreciate where Wyden's going, and I know he's making a decent point about RSV and children's respiratory diseases, but he's got a great example right in front of him. What the fuck is wrong with RFK Jr.'s lungs besides years of heroin use and fucking like him basically snorting any nootropic he can get his hands on?
And please make your answer brief, Mr. Secretary.
I've said
The position is indefensible. I think it's possible.
Congress has been investigating that committee for 23 years because it is pervaded with conflicts of interest. What we did is we got rid of the conflicts of interest. We depoliticized it and put great scientists on it from a very diverse group.
Let me close with
very pro-vaccine.
Let me close with this.
Yes. We got our NASA board has some people who it's about time we got some flat earthers. I mean, that's diversity. Remember, diversity is our strength.
Because, like Senator Crapo, I'm a few seconds over. I don't think, Mr. Secretary, this is about you and me. This is about kids being pushed in harm's way by reckless and repeated decisions to get scientists and doctors out of the way and allow conspiracy theories to dictate this country's health policy. I don't see any evidence that you have any regrets about anything you've done or plans to change it. And my last comment is, I hope that you will tell the American people.
God damn. I hope you will tell the American people what the fuck is wrong with you. Like, first of all, he looks like, again, I have said for the longest time that RFK Jr. looks like somebody from the puppetry of the penis twisted their scrotum and said, if you squint, it looks like John. Like, this is not going well. And then on top of that, like the fact that he's breathing as noisily as he is, he's as agitated as he is. At one point, his eyebrow, and I forget like who was talking to him because I watched a large part of this panel. It like was just all over the fucking place. Hold on, let's see. They might have part of it.
How many prevent
of the chronic disease in our children went up to 76%, and you said nothing. You never asked the question why it's happening. Why is this happening? Today, for the first time in 20 years.
Also, we just didn't used to categorize the diseases that kids had. Also, 70% of kids don't have a chronic disease. That's what he wants you to believe. Chronic disease went up 70%, but that's because obesity went up. That's considered a chronic disease until it isn't. Along with it, diabetes. Any kid who's obese until they get diabetes, that was considered a chronic disease. Also, most of the kids that he's talking about would have died early if you hadn't recognized they have a chronic disease and you can keep them fucking alive. When he was a kid, those kids with those chronic diseases just fucking died. They didn't survive to be alive with a chronic disease. Recognizing a chronic disease and coming up with a treatment for it extended their fucking lives. A kid that's alive right now, somebody who's alive in their 20s with spina bifida, would have just died. He never would have ran into them. They would have never left the house. He never would have seen them in their wheelchair rolling around because they never would have gotten the fucking chance. They wouldn't have been in school diagnosed with a chronic disease because they'd have been dead 6 years before that. This is where like lying through statistics is at its absolute fucking worst. This mother, like, when I was a kid, they didn't even have these fucking diseases. They didn't survive them. You didn't meet them, you dumb motherfucker. They died in the crib. They didn't make it past 5 or 6 years old. Now they live. Some of them with very long lives. And the other ones that did have chronic problems, but you never saw them because they were medicated in an institution because they were like, we thought he was retarded. Turns out he's just deaf. When he was young, they were still doing that. Now, let me be real clear about this with this motherfucker. Any child that wears hearing aids has a chronic disease. They are deaf and they will be deaf until somebody invents a new ear or they get some sort of, magical surgery that solves it. But they will be chronically deaf their whole fucking life. And back when he was a young man, their chances of ever hearing anything were slim to fucking none. And so he never saw them. They went to a school for the deaf. There wasn't hearing impaired because it was you can hear or you can't. There wasn't vision impaired. There was blind. And even if you could see a little bit, you couldn't see enough to go to regular school. If the glasses got too thick, you were fucked. So they just sent you to the school for the blind. And this asshole never met any of those kids. So he's too busy, catching scattered ass as a young Kennedy. The reason these chronic diseases, he wasn't aware of them, or we didn't have as many then, is because we didn't bother to categorize them. And they didn't survive. What an asshole. I just don't understand how somebody is that fucking dense. Also, I'd like to remind everyone that the whole environmental lawyer thing that's part of his mythology was set up by the Kennedy family to cover his heroin addicted, ass chasing prickishness as a young man. He was fucking up the Kennedy name. So they drafted this environmental lawyer mythology, and all he had to do was show up and stamp jockey stuff and give speeches and fuck hippie chicks all around the country. He doesn't give a goddamn about the environment. This is a fix too. This is just his second go at it. You can't be for the climate and hang around with Trump, so they shifted to this anti-vax stuff so he could run for president, run around the country, and cheat on his wife with all these fucking anti-vaxxer hippie chicks that he runs into. That's it. That's why the fucking working out in jeans with no shirt on and shit. It's he's trolling for scattered ass. He's a fucking punk. And the fact that he doesn't recognize that the rise in chronic disease among children is because they now survive to school age. The fact that he seemingly can't even picture that as a possibility. He just likes the number, and he can twist it to fit his narrative, and he doesn't. If he bothers to look, it'll fuck up the whole thing. So better to just yell at Ron Wyden or twitch around like some kind of he's somebody sprinkled crack on his eyebrows.
Learn that infant mortality has increased in our country. It's not.
Yeah, you know why? Because of fucking lack of prenatal support and shutting down Planned Parenthood. Denying poor women support because you guys want to shut down abortion clinics when they are fertility clinics as well. Or Planned Parenthood, again, doesn't just do abortions, but you want to shut the fucking things down so there are more mothers dying as well. That number is directly linked.
I came in here is because of what happened during the Biden administration that we're...
Okay, fuck you. It's also because of COVID and poverty and all kinds of other shit. And the idea that it has anything to do with vaccines is what he's trying to make it seem like. He's trying to attach, the infant mortality is up. Well, kids aren't getting more fucking vaccines than they've ever had, and babies aren't getting a COVID vaccine. Kids are. And those aren't infants.
And
I'm going to let Senator Wyden respond briefly to that, and then we're not going to go over like we just did.
Defend this committee on a bipartisan basis. Colleagues, my cabinet secretary says that we have no interest in chronic care. Mr. Secretary,
Mr. Chairman, could we have regular order, please?
We are in the process of turning around the Medicare program with the chronic care bill that Chairman Hatch, when he was chairman in this committee, put together on a bipartisan basis.
All right, we're going to proceed. And I just want the rest of the members to know, I gave Senator Wyden as ranking member some leeway there, but we're going to stick to the...
Okay, hold on.
Panel.
Bennett goes after him. Yeah.
Just as
for all right
is mounting.
Look at this fucker.
Members, Dr. Levy wrote that, quote, evidence is mounting and indisputable that mRNA vaccines cause serious harm, including death, especially among young people? Yes or no? Are you aware that he said that?
I wasn't aware he said it, but I think I agree with it.
You agree with it? It's not true. It wasn't true when he said it, and it's not true when you said it. Secretary Kennedy, later this month, your new...
Yeah, by the way, that is literally just straight up false. Like I believe it now, and I believe it. Well, who gives a fuck what you believe? The data shows otherwise, you dumb motherfucker.
We'll meet to consider changing vaccine recommendations for American children. In addition to the COVID-19 vaccines, they are set to review recommendations for the hepatitis B vaccine, for measles, for mumps, for rubella.
But by the way, they all bring this part of it up because this is the big deal. That he's trying to wipe out a bunch of the required vaccines for children entering school.
And varicella vaccine and the RSV vaccine. These are common back-to-school vaccinations for children all over the industrialized world. If you change that, you owe parents in Colorado and across the country the benefit of some transparency, I think. If your panel recommends changing the vaccine schedule for children, do you anticipate that fewer children will receive these common vaccinations, yes or no?
What I would say, Senator...
The obvious answer is yes. Should parents and schools of Colorado be prepared for more measles outbreaks as a result of that, Mr. Secretary?
Senator,
how about more mumps outbreaks?
I do not anticipate a change in the MMR vaccine. ACIP is an independent panel. So
well, it's a panel you just put those folks on. Far from what you said, there are people with...
Yeah, like every time he starts getting mad, he leans in on the mic and starts growling.
Ideas that are completely outside the mainstream.
You mean out of the pharmaceutical paradigm?
Let me just say, Mr. Secretary, all these vaccines that we're talking about today...
Seriously, okay, you guys get the point. Like he's a twitchy fucking mess. But he's treating this like he's a guest on Rogan. And he looks and sounds like shit at the same time. Like, it would be one thing if, like, the dude was just inarguably fucking healthy. That he was like some online dude who's, 60 but looks 40 and is just magically healthy. RFK Jr. looks like canned ass. He sounds like shit. His lungs are full of goo. His face is twitching all over the fucking place because more than likely he's on any number of Adderalls or fucking he gacked something up for his big meeting to make his brain sharp or whatever, and then he's drinking coffee on top of it because he's a fucking moron. But seriously, he just looks like a scrotum someone twisted into the shape of Bobby Kennedy. And my only wish is the next time he's in there that Bennett or one of these guys go, "Sir, you feel okay? You sound like hell." I would say shit, but it's a respectable arena. He looks like a burnt testicle, right? Yeah, he looks like one of Tucker Carlson's sunburned nuts. Steroids make you red like that? Just saying. I wouldn't doubt he was on all of it, for real. But I like any of the Democrats going to go, "Sir, you are you on any medication that we should know of? Your eyes are twitching. Your breathing is erratic. You're obviously, I'm no doctor, but your lungs sound like they are full of fluid. And I understand you have vocal cord paralysis from your heroin and crack use. But this is something else entirely. It sounds acute and it sounds new. And if you don't mind, if you're not going to believe in some sort of actual treatment, maybe just don't show up when you're infectious. He sounds like Bane, yeah.
I have found a way, Batman, to make you take the pertussis vaccine. Ugh, I hate coughing into my mask.
Yeah, like, sir, you look like shit. Do you feel okay? You sound like shit? Yeah, he's on Pervitin. He's on whatever his version of Pervitin is. For real. There is no way, no fucking way, that when Elon Musk was hanging around, RFK Jr. and him weren't buddies and they weren't gacking from the same briefcase. There's no fucking way. They won't because of his vocal cord condition? Yeah, but that's different. That's not his vocal cords. I've had a rough voice after nights of singing, and my voice has been completely fucked, but I don't sound like I'm trying to snort boogers off of the microphone every time I lean into it. Unless I really try. All right, I've held you guys over. I appreciate it. I started a little bit late, but he's on ivermectin. I've still, where's my fucking, I have some, don't I? Where the fuck did I put it? I know I have some. I have stunt ivermectin. Oh, wait, there it is. Hold on. It's behind the green screen over here. Simmer down. Yeah, just in case. Just in case I ever get invited on Rogan and he's running low, I can bring him a fresh paste. It's green apple flavor. Yeah, that's his breathing. It's not his fucking... He looks like jock itch. Ouch. That's for real. Safeguard. Equine dewormer. Fenbendazole. There it is. And then, and it's, I think it says, does it say green apple flavor on the thing? I think it's on the end or something. Like, but yeah, so you just go up to the horse and you, like that, which I'm sure, is part of the fun. He looks, that's a bad look for a health secretary. Yeah, Pleatherhead. He did have a brain worm, but he didn't have a lung worm. Yes, horses do love green apples. Dutch apple pie. It's terrific. All right, I'll let you guys go. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Friday Eye. Please, join us tomorrow for the morning show. I know it's not, quite the norm of what the show is on other time, but it is a necessary conversation. And I promise I will start bringing AI slop that I make myself for you guys to look at, so you'll at least have eye candy besides myself to look at. That said, everybody, take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. And I will see you on the other side. For the AI is the thing that we are for the children, so we can make a fuck the Christmas card for the having of the being and to have. Fuck the Christmas. Fuck the Christmas.
The screen glows bright with a crooked smile.
Fuck the Christmas.
Words spill out. All venom, no style.
Oh, hello there!
Promises made.
Bullshit!
They rot in the air. A handshake, a lie, a blank, cold stare.
Did IQs just drop sharply while I was away?
Puppets dance, the strings are tight.
He's genius, eh?
Whisper in the dead of night.
Negative function.
Bullshit!
This is some bullshit.
I love lamb.
We see through it. This is some bullshit.
He's genius, eh?
Can't undo it. Say it loud.
Don't wreck our show, you hoser.
We won't quit. Some bullshit.
You ever serve time?
Truths that crumble like ash. Golden thrones built on stolen cash. We Motown gave us the Mustang. Truth's a bomb, we're ready to fight.
Just the facts, ma'am.
This is some bullshit.
Maybe I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave the
We
store.
see through it. This is some bullshit. Can't undo it. Say it loud.
All right,
We won't quit. This is some bullshit.
What's up? Who's next?
I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
Portos, motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads. They all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
Captain's log.
Maybe I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store.